Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief program. Today, we're diving into the viral sensation of filmmaker Jazzie Sillona, whose nostalgic Instagram videos have captured the hearts of nearly 500,000 followers. Jazzie's unique portrayal of everyday Hong Kong has turned him into an unofficial spokesperson for the city, collaborating with major brands and the Hong Kong Tourism Board. It's a fascinating story of how simple street scenes can resonate so deeply with people around the world. Next, we explore the personal journey of Annika Park, who moved from Singapore to Hong Kong during the pandemic. Her decision to learn Cantonese not only helped her adjust to a new city and culture, but also deepened her connection to Hong Kong and its people. Annika's story highlights the importance of language in fostering a sense of belonging and mutual respect. Lastly, we turn to a more concerning issue at Pamela Yudnethersoul Eastern Hospital, where around 30 staff members fell ill with symptoms of gastroenteritis after eating at the hospital's canteen. The hospital has filed a report to health authorities and is taking steps to ensure such an incident doesn't happen again. It's a reminder of the critical importance of food safety in public institutions. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage of these stories and more. South China Morning Post. Director Wong Kar-wai's films may have gifted the world with the quintessentially cinematic vision of Hong Kong, but the next generation is discovering the best of the city through the lens of a rather different auteur. In late 2022, filmmaker Jazzie Sillona decided to post his first Instagram video featuring everyday Hong Kong moments and sights, ranging from the Star Ferry crossing the busy harbor and rides at Disneyland, to the picturesque hiking trails of the South Side, all shot on his iPhone. It immediately went viral, and his follower count quickly hit 6 digits. 300 videos and 450,000 plus followers later, Sillona has become a de facto spokesperson for the city thanks to his roving eye and dreamy, nostalgic videos. Funnily enough, I wasn't even here when I posted the first video, although the idea was to remind people who left during COVID that the city was still alive, and just as beautiful, he says. Born and raised in the Middle East, Sillona, now in his mid-30s, has been passionate about film since he was a teenager, when he would often host premieres at home for his family showcasing the short vlogs and music videos he made using his old-school Nokia phone, Sony digital camera and laptop. While studying business at university in Manila, he made his first trip to Hong Kong and instantly fell in love with the city's film set vibes, dizzying skyscrapers and boundless opportunities. In his final year, he managed to snag an internship working with a local fashion company, where he flexed his filmmaking skills producing offbeat training videos, which immediately got him noticed. Eventually, he moved to Hong Kong in 2019 and opened his own production company, Jazzie Films, while freelancing on various film projects and shoots. South China Morning Post. I moved to Hong Kong 3 years ago, in the middle of the pandemic, to be closer to my partner. It was a move I never would have anticipated had I been on my own, or if there had been no COVID-19. Perhaps one of the few people who moved from Singapore to Hong Kong, rather than the other way around, I count myself lucky to have been employed when Cantonese, and Mandarin, was a must on job postings. Adjusting to Hong Kong was more difficult than I imagined. The first 2 years went by too quickly, and my recollections are mostly of emotions. I remember shame boiling over into angry hysterics over wet market stall operators who would wave me and my timid English orders off. Self-loathing when I couldn't fix my shower drain without my partner on the speakerphone with the plumber. I once cried on the steps outside a post office after a postman showed his frustration after realizing I didn't speak Cantonese. It might have nothing to do with language. If Hong Kong is a pressure cooker, the past few years have made life feel as if the valve is broken. It doesn't help that I am Korean, so I look like I would speak Cantonese. With every passing day, it felt like Hong Kong was telling me you don't belong here. It took me 2 years to sign up for a Cantonese course. Much of that time was spent searching for the right program, but also introspecting on what was causing these feelings of fear, anxiety, shame, anger, and self-hatred. After sitting with these feelings for long enough, my grudges revealed their true self. Turns out it was the ugly face of entitlement. It took me 2 years to realize Hong Kong doesn't owe me anything. This is a majority Cantonese-speaking city. For over 88% of the population, Cantonese is their usual language. Who was I to think I could get away with not learning it? South China Morning Post. About 30 staff members at a Hong Kong public hospital have had to take sick leave due to diarrhea and vomiting they experienced after eating food from on-site canteens, prompting the institution to file a report to health authorities. Pamela Yud Nethersole Eastern Hospital in Chai Wan said on Wednesday night it received reports from staff who were experiencing symptoms of gastroenteritis after consuming the food at lunchtime, causing them to stop working. A number of different departments were affected, the hospital said. A spokesman for the hospital said the case had been reported to the Center for Health Protection, the Food and Environmental Hygiene Department and the hospital authorities' head office via the Advanced Incident Reporting System. The hospital is very concerned about the cases, the spokesman said. As prudent measures, the hospital has instructed the canteen services contractor to arrange deep cleansing in the 2 canteens. The hospital canteens will be closed on Wednesday to continue deep cleansing. He added that staff common areas and toilets would be disinfected, with the hospital's infection control team gathering further information from those who fell ill. South China Morning Post reports that Hong Kong stocks have fallen for the 3rd consecutive day, with the Hang Seng Index dropping 1.9% to 18,822.46, its lowest in over 2 weeks. This decline is attributed to mixed corporate earnings and cautious comments from U.S. Federal Reserve officials. Tech giants Alibaba and JD.com saw significant losses, with Alibaba retreating 4.2% and JD.com declining 1.9%. Electric vehicle makers BYD and Li Auto also experienced drops, contributing to a 3.6% weekly loss, the worst since January. Local developers like Henderson Land and New World Development also suffered losses following hawkish Fed minutes. Analysts from Horizon Insights noted that the Hong Kong market is undergoing a correction and needs stronger economic indicators to sustain a rally. Meanwhile, J.P. Morgan Chase expressed doubts about the effectiveness of China's recent property bailout, adding to the overall negative sentiment. In another report from South China Morning Post, Tencent has announced a significant investment of 100 million yuan, $13.9 million, to fund carbon capture and removal technologies, aiming to address climate change beyond conventional solutions like renewable energy and electric vehicles. Tencent's CarbonX program, launched last year, evaluated 300 applications and selected 13 winners to receive financial and advisory support. These projects range from university research to early-stage startups with commercial potential. Some teams are developing methods to capture carbon dioxide from steel slag, while others are converting CO2 into sustainable aviation fuel and valuable chemicals. Tencent's initiative aligns with China's goal of achieving net zero emissions by 2060, and the company plans to invest an additional 200 million yuan over the next 3 years to support innovative climate solutions. Experts like Jerry Yen from the Hong Kong Polytechnic University emphasized the importance of early support for emerging technologies like carbon capture and storage. In a separate article from South China Morning Post, Hong Kong taxi drivers are being urged to join Uber's ride-hailing service instead of demanding its ban, as suggested by lawmaker Michael Tien Puk-sun. Tien noted that about 11,000 of the city's 16,000 urban taxis are already on the Uber platform, earning drivers an extra 10,000 Hong Kong dollars monthly. The debate over ride-hailing services has intensified, with taxi drivers conducting sting operations against Uber drivers. Chief Executive John Lee Ka-chiu announced that transport authorities would release a related report after July. The Law Reform Commission of Hong Kong previously suggested a regulatory regime for ride-hailing services, considering passenger safety and minimizing the impact on taxi license owners. lawmaker Doreen Kong Yuk-foon proposed that the government buy back all taxi licenses to create a fair battleground and regulate ride-hailing platforms. However, Ronnie Tong Kawa highlighted legal obstacles, noting that vehicles charging fares must have a permit, which Uber's model does not accommodate. Suggestions have been made to ease permit criteria and learn from other jurisdictions that tax Uber-like services to support licensed taxis. South China Morning Post: the integrity of the skateboarding events at the Hong Kong Games has been called into question due to accusations of rule changes and timekeeping irregularities. Reeve Sui In Lung, a local skateboarding coach, pointed out that the organizers failed to properly implement or suddenly altered rules set by World Skate, the sport's governing body. This led to some competitors, including Sui skater James Lam Xinghoi, receiving less than the allotted 45 seconds for their runs. The discrepancies were evident, with RTHK 32's broadcast showing Lam having less than 40 seconds. Furthermore, the organizers altered the format of the competition just minutes before it started, asking young athletes, some as young as 10, to agree to the changes. The Leisure and Cultural Services Department defended the adjustments, stating they were made transparently and with participants' agreement, but the lack of detailed scoring further clouded the competition's fairness. South China Morning Post: Chef Peter Sang, renowned for championing Cantonese cooking in Southeast Asia, recently showcased his culinary prowess at the 7th International Master Chef Charity Gala Dinner in Hong Kong, raising over 10 million Hong Kong dollars. Despite Typhoon Koinu battering Hong Kong, Sang rallied chefs from around the world, highlighting his influence and dedication to charity. Chang's journey began in Yuen Long, where he started working in a dim sum restaurant at 14. Over the decades, he has worked in prestigious establishments like the Shangri-La in Singapore and the Imperial Hotel Tokyo, where he became the first non-Japanese head chef. Chang's contributions to Cantonese cuisine, particularly the fusion Nanyang Cantonese style, have been significant. He emphasizes the importance of flavor and the satisfaction of creating dishes from humble ingredients. Chang's efforts extend beyond the kitchen, as he has organized numerous charity events and founded the Singapore-Hong Kong Chefs Association to foster knowledge exchange among chefs. Yahoo US: the rivalry between Manchester United and Manchester City has been vividly captured over the years by photographers Eamon and James Clark. Their work highlights key moments, such as United's 2005 Christmas party, which showcased the team's camaraderie and nightlife. Another significant moment was Carlos Tevez' controversial move from United to City in 2009, marked by a meal with Patrice Evra that led to Ferguson's ire. The Clarks also documented Robin van Persie's transfer saga in 2012, where both clubs vied for his signature. They captured the infamous training ground bust-up between Mario Balotelli and Roberto Mancini in 2013, a testament to the fiery dynamics at City. More recently, they photographed Marcus Rashford's rise in 2016 and Pep Guardiola's relaxed city centre lifestyle, contrasting with the intense scrutiny United players face. Despite City's success, the demand for their photos remains lower than United's, reflecting the global fanbase and media interest disparity between the two clubs. South China Morning Post: the anticipation is building in Hong Kong as football fans might soon witness the magic of Antoine Griezmann, Coke, and Memphis Depay, with reports suggesting Atletico Madrid's potential visit in August. This would mark a significant event since the city has been deprived of top-tier European football since Manchester City played against Kitchee in 2019. The proposed date for the friendly is August 7, and although there's no official word on the opponents, Kitchee seems to be orchestrating the visit. This potential match follows a previous visit by Atletico in 2015 when they clinched the Soccer Sevens tournament. Kitchee's owner, Ken Ing-kin, highlighted the need for careful planning to avoid a repeat of the February debacle with Lionel Messi, who stayed on the bench during a highly anticipated game. The financial implications and community impact are crucial considerations, with the M-Mark status from Hong Kong's major sports events committee providing essential funding and resources. Atletico Madrid's interest in Asia aligns with their strategic market focus, having toured South Korea last pre-season and previously partnered with Chinese firm Wanda for their stadium sponsorship. The visit would not only boost local football but also provide a valuable experience for Hong Kong players, as noted by Kitchi defender Helio Goncalves. South China Morning Post. Asian investors are increasingly skeptical about the performance of environmental, social, and governance (ESG) investments, according to an AXA Investment Managers study. The skepticism rose to 35% in 2022 from 27% in 2021, driven by doubts about the genuine sustainability of ESG funds. The study, based on a survey of 12,000 consumers across 12 European and Asian markets, revealed a decline in investor awareness and understanding of ESG products. Only 41% of Asian investors expected ESG funds to outperform non-ESG funds of the same risk level, a drop from 2021. Furthermore, just a third of Asian investors with ESG funds were fully aware of their aims and objectives. Jane Wadia, AXA's head of sustainability, emphasized the need for better comprehension of ESG products to rebuild trust and confidence. AXA has initiated training programs in France to educate shareholders and customers on climate change and its investment impacts. Despite the skepticism, ESG ownership is more widespread in Asia than in Europe, with 39% of Asian investors holding ESG funds compared to less than a quarter in Europe. However, Hong Kong lags behind, with only 29% of investors holding ESG funds. The report also highlighted that climate change is becoming a significant part of investment policies in the Asia-Pacific region, surpassing Europe for the first time. Nonetheless, North America sees a decline in investment enthusiasm due to political debates over the costs of integrating ESG factors. South China Morning Post. Taiwan's once formidable Silicon Shield, built on its dominance in semiconductor manufacturing, faces new challenges as geopolitical tensions rise and mainland China and Western countries develop their own chip capabilities. Taiwan's production of advanced chips, crucial for modern technologies, has long given it a privileged position in the global supply chain. However, mainland China's heavy investment in chip production and the West's push for self-reliance amid cross-strait tensions threaten this dominance. The recent inauguration of William Lai, who opposes mainland China's influence, has intensified these tensions, prompting Western allies to diversify their chip sources. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, has already started shifting some production to the U.S., with significant investments in Arizona. The potential for a rapid decline in cross-strait ties has led countries like Japan, the U.S., and Germany to explore onshoring advanced chip production. Despite Taiwan's current dominance, accounting for 66% of global advanced chip capacity, this share is projected to decline as offshore investments increase. Mainland China's focus on mature semiconductors, bolstered by state investments, aims to achieve self-reliance amid ongoing trade tensions with the U.S. As Taiwan navigates these challenges, it continues to position itself as a hub for research, development, and design in the tech industry, striving to maintain its strategic importance in the global technology landscape. Bloomberg. In the heart of Washington, voter concerns about AI and privacy are taking center stage. A recent Bloomberg News Morning Consult poll revealed that privacy is the top technology concern for many Americans, particularly in 7 crucial swing states where 58% of voters fear AI's impact on their privacy. Despite this widespread anxiety, Congress has yet to establish a federal data privacy standard, a failure that stands in stark contrast to the swift legislative action taken against TikTok. This discrepancy highlights the urgent need for comprehensive data privacy laws that protect users across all tech platforms, not just specific apps. The poll also showed that while regular TikTok users oppose the divest or ban law, a majority still worry about foreign data collection, underscoring the complex landscape of privacy concerns in the digital age. The Globe and Mail. China's domestic investors are showing renewed optimism in their stock market, buoyed by the government's latest measures to support the struggling property sector. These steps, which include a 300 billion yuan relending facility for state-owned enterprises to purchase unsold homes, have been described as historic. Despite this, foreign investors remain cautious, with capital flow data indicating a trickle rather than a flood of foreign money. Analysts like Sunil Krishnan from Aviva Investors note that while the measures are constructive, they are not yet sufficient to drive significant GDP growth. Meanwhile, mainland investors are favoring Hong Kong-listed shares, which are seen as cheaper and potentially more lucrative if foreign investment picks up. The cautious stance of global investors reflects a broader uncertainty, with many waiting for more substantial economic reforms and improvements in Sino-US relations before committing more capital to Chinese markets. Telegraph. A tragic incident on a Singapore Airlines flight from London to Singapore has left 6 Britons in intensive care and resulted in the death of 73-year-old Geoffrey Kitchen. The flight encountered severe turbulence over Myanmar, causing the plane to rise and plunge multiple times, leading to serious injuries among passengers. The turbulence was so extreme that it left dents in the cabin ceiling and scattered debris throughout the aircraft. Among the injured is 22-year-old Mia Stevenson, who described the terrifying moment she was thrown into the ceiling and then crashed into the aisle. The incident has brought attention to the increasing frequency of clear air turbulence, which scientists warn is likely to become more common due to climate change. The affected passengers, including those from various countries, were treated in Bangkok after the plane made an emergency landing. The event has left many shaken and highlights the unpredictable nature of air travel in the face of changing environmental conditions. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.